I'm Jennifer Bilbrey. This is On Our Minds, a monthly podcast about psychotherapy in Austin, Texas. Well, say more about how to do that, because one of my questions was, how do you create a culture in your family or in your marriage that encourages both parts?
Right. Well, it's a big question.
Yeah.
Right? And this is why therapy takes a long time.
Yes.
Because it can take...
and is expensive.
It can take a while to bring us into wholeness,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
To stretch a little bit every day. I use the Imago dialogue process, which is a complicated thing I won't go into, but each partner takes turn fully entering the other person's world and understand why they adapted the way they adapted, where vulnerability was dangerous in that warrior's history, where having a voice and being empowered was dangerous in the HSP's family. And then as we kind of enter each other's worlds, it just changes us. It transforms us through that experience, just like watching a movie can be transformative. So I help the couple really get into each other's stories and feel into the stories. And as they do that, they also reclaim not only the lost parts of themselves, but they reclaim sort of a sense of partnership and teamwork. That, it's good we're different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is helpful.
Very helpful. Very helpful.
Yeah.
And just kind of leveraging those differences for what makes sense for you as a couple.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the warrior that walks into the office so completely armored that it's like there's no with some people I find like, I don't know, where is the soft spot here? How do I?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things like, all that's there to protect them.
Yeah.
So I just honor it. And the more you honor it, the less it's needed. So you don't push. You don't look for the soft spot. You just honor and mirror and validate. It's great that your feelings don't get hurt that easily. You've got a thick skin. And that must be really helpful for you in the world. And it makes sense that it might be hard to see how this person can get hurt so easily. And it might be a little even scary to see how easily they get hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And then, over time, when they feel like I don't need to take that away from them, it slowly starts to come off. Because the truth is people want to be seen and vulnerable. They just need to know that it's safe. And that if they need to armor up again really quickly, that I'm going to be put it on. Let's go. I get it.
I was thinking how helpful that would be for the poet to hear.
Yes. That's really, I think, the ability to enter each person's world as a therapist and fully get it and honor it and honor the way they had to adapt and honor why they had to put away those parts. Helps the couple, just normalizes everything.
Okay, so this brings me to a burning question I have for you about how you mingle more traditional psychotherapies with what you're talking about now. And in particular, I'm thinking about modern analytic ways of practicing therapy. And how, in some ways, non-intuitive. I mean, in the ways that you've described, it can be. How very heady.
Well, I think our culture it swings, right? Things swing, and there's trends, and there's what's in style. And so I like to think of a modern analytic or the way Freud or Jung or Winnicott or other of our forefathers practice. I like to think of that the same way I think of ancient wisdom. Right? It's ancient and it's wisdom. And there's parts of it that we can bring forward and apply now. And there's parts of it that may be archaic. Right? And that it's very hard to know what somebody meant at the time when they were writing, because they were writing in the thought patterns and language of the time. So I think it's really important to be classically trained in therapy, because this is the wisdom. Why would you throw out all the wisdom that people have honed over years and years? I mean, the reality is that I will never be at my best as a therapist until I'm probably about to die.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so why would we take all this wisdom that somebody has cultivated over 30 years of practicing and take it in and see how it fits for us? So for me, modern, one of the key techniques for modern is called joining, which is exactly what I was talking about with the armored person, right? You join them. You get why they are the way they are. You celebrate it. And then they don't need that defense. And that's the language of modern analytic.
Yeah, okay.
And modern analytic would talk about intuition as countertransference. It's the feelings I'm aware that I'm feeling. It could be images I'm having, ideas, urges. Anything that I'm experiencing, I interpret as being about you.
Yes.
When I'm sitting with you.
Yeah.
For the sake of your therapy. I don't make it about me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's induction. That's intuition, but analysts will talk about it in different language.
Yeah.
So Freud would have talked about it one way. Carl Jung would have talked about it another way.
Right.
I just take that language and then I adapt it to who I'm speaking with.
It's so helpful to think about induction and transference and countertransference as intuition.
It is. It's just intuition cleaned up because intuition got a bad rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got a bad rap. Most of the traits, if you look at like Myers-Briggs, most of the traits that Freud did not identify with got a bad rap. So introversion got a bad rap. Intuition gets a bad rap. You're right? This logic, linear, medical model is what was validated by our culture at that time in kind of the Western culture.
Yeah. Well, it's making me think of times when I'm with a client or a friend or myself, and I hear, it's just my intuition is telling me not to do this or to do this. And where as a therapist or friend, I'm thinking that, I don't know that that's intuition. I'm thinking that might be fear.
Yes.
Or something else entirely.
Yes.
So how do we know?
We don't.
Yeah, okay.
That's the art, right? That's the art.
Okay.
And that's what people spend a lot of time in therapy trying to develop.
Okay.
How does it feel when my mind is telling a scary story? Versus how does it feel when I'm getting a yes or I'm getting a no in my body?
Okay.
Now, I want to come back to the traits real quick.
Okay, great.
Because the third trait of receptivity is somatic knowing, which is honoring that your body talks to you. And your body talks to you, feeling something in your gut is a very common way of speaking about intuition, right?
Right.
But it can also be heart knowing. We have a lot of neurons around our heart as well as in our brain. And so we get a lot of data around our heart knowing, also skin knowing, goose pimples, right? Skin crawling.
Yeah.
And in the fascia that holds all of our body together, in our muscles, we can have tension. We can get tension in our neck. And oftentimes when a client's talking about a difficult person in their life, they'll start rubbing. I'm like, are they a pain in the neck?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Did they stab you in the back? So there's all this information that is somatic knowing, that is information coming through the body. And when clients tune their body knowing, that helps them determine the difference between a scary story that's coming through the mind and an intuitive way of experiencing something that's a no. No, don't get in the car right now.
Yeah, okay.
And that it takes a lot of work to sort through all of that.
Sure. And so much awareness.
Yes, and I think group therapy is the most powerful way of tuning that up.
Oh, say more about that.
Well, I want to just start with, you need a feedback mechanism to tune your intuition.
All right.
You need somebody validating your experience and helping you explore it. And so therapy is really powerful for that. But then when you put group and you put a whole bunch of people in the room who you're not paying, and they can start giving you feedback. And sometimes it'll hurt your feelings. And you'll be like, no, this is real for me. How come you misunderstand me? But if you're in a good group therapy setting, you get to work through that. You got to have all your experience about being misunderstood. They may come around and change their mind. They may not. But you learn to have your full range of emotions and all your thoughts. And somebody in group is going to validate you. And you start to kind of tune up that intuition and also develop some insulation of not in training with everything. Like you can entrain with people, but then you can come back to you.
Insulation because of the other group members who might be joining you?
Yeah, it's I think of emotional insulation is what's going to protect you from gathering up too much emotion that's not yours, right? Like you need that insulation to go, that might be about me, but that's, I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of buffers you from other people's thoughts and opinions.
Is there something about group that helps a person know that difference, that this is about me or that this is about them?
Well, in a good, well-functioning group, people are talking about everything going on in their lives, which is very different than the office, families, even friendships.
Right. Sure.
And so when somebody comes into the room and they're sad, they're going to talk about what in their life made them sad. And then you're going to tune your intuition like, oh, I was feeling that when they came in. Oh, that belongs to them. Let me put that back with them. And now I can look at what's left. What am I sad about? And you start to do that sorting because you're talking about everything.
Yeah.
And you need a place where people are talking about everything to tune your intuition, to develop that feedback mechanism.
Oh, that makes so much sense.